love about living in the country is that you get fresh seasonal produce on the side of the road and you can pay via an honesty box. Pumpkins are in season right now, so they're really tasty and really affordable. At $2.50, this one looks pretty good to me. Winter is just around the corner, so today I'm going to try and keep warm by making a Sri Lankan pumpkin curry. Now I just love Sri Lankan curries, almost as much as I love my boyfriend, who I actually met in Sri Lanka about 6 years ago. And can you believe that when I first went to Sri Lanka I didn't eat meat? Well, I can't believe it either. But in Sri Lanka there's such a diverse range of vegetarian curries and they're just full of flavour that really is no need to eat meat. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a roasted curry powder for our Sri Lankan pumpkin curry. I'm going to use a variety of really beautiful spices. So we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of coriander seed, a teaspoon of fennel, about a tablespoon of cumin seeds, about a teaspoon of black peppercorns, a few cardamom pods, and this is one of my favourite ingredients which is essential to Sri Lankan cooking. It's curry leaves. I'm going to roast them for about 10 minutes, shaking the pan to ensure an even coating. Now the spices have been roasting for about 10 minutes. They smell delicious. I'm just going to let them cool before I start grinding them down. You don't want to include the shell of the cardamom pod, so once you've crushed it a little bit, just pick out the shell. You can see that it's ground down to a really nice fine powder. So now I'm just going to add some ground spices, some turmeric for colour, chili powder just to give it a kick, and a little bit of cinnamon for sweetness. I've also got some rice that I've toasted and ground down, and I'm going to add just a teaspoon of that into the curry powder. Now I'm going to start cooking up this curry, but first I've just got to chop up my beautiful pumpkin. Ooh, it's tough. Wrestling with the pumpkin. Look at that. I've got my pumpkin diced up into nice big chunks. Now I'm just going to start frying everything off. To give this curry a really authentic flavour, I'm using coconut oil, quite solid, but as soon as it hits heat it will melt. Yum! I don't think there's a better smell than the smell of frying onions. I've also got some ginger, some garlic, and to give the curry some heat I've got some little green chilli. Now before I add in the pumpkin I'm going to add some more spices and some beautiful aromats, some ground mustard, about a teaspoon, brown mustard seeds, a few teaspoons of fenugreek seeds, a teaspoon of coriander seed, already ground, and a teaspoon of cumin seed, that's already ground as well. It's smelling beautiful. Now this is a really interesting ingredient that is used a lot in Sri Lankan cooking, and it's Maldive fish flakes or fish chips. They're dried tuna, which acts kind of like a shrimp paste does in Thai cooking or a fish sauce does in Vietnamese cooking. So I'm just going to add a few teaspoons of that just to give it a bit of saltiness. To finish this curry off, I'm just going to add some more curry leaves. I've also got a little bit of cinnamon and another unusual ingredient, which is pandan leaf. Now pandan leaf is kind of like the vanilla of Asia. It smells delicious, it gives off this beautiful perfume. So this will just give the curry, again, an authentic Sri Lankan flavour, but also a little bit of sweetness. Now to add our pumpkin. It smells so good. And finally, to bring all the ingredients together, I'm just going to add about a cup of coconut milk. Now I'm going to let this simmer away until the pumpkin is nice and tender and just cooked through. So it's good to get the curry moving, so just stir it occasionally or shake it occasionally just so it doesn't get caught on the bottom. It's coming along nicely, I think it's almost done. So the final touch to this curry will be a mixture of the roasted rice and the coconut. Toast off the rice over a medium to high heat until it becomes golden brown. That'll do it, I reckon. Toast off this coconut, pound up this rice and the coconut back in the mortar and pestle. So this is starting to become a paste now, which is what we need. So to finish this curry off, I'm going to add a little bit of the rice mixture to thicken it up and a little bit of the roasted curry powder just to finish off and give it that extra bit of flavour. Now it wouldn't be a Sri Lankan curry without a few extra additions. So I've actually got some roti, which I made earlier, some dal, a little bit of rice. So now it's time to serve up. Now there you have it, my Sri Lankan pumpkin curry. Now it's tradition in Sri Lanka to actually eat with your fingers. So here goes. That's good. Yum.